What's going on, everybody? I hope this video finds you in a fantastic state of mind. I'm not quite there yet, but I hope for your sake you are. I am back currently in my dorm at my university, so if you know what dorms look like, maybe you can Google search and figure out where I go, but I won't tell you specifically myself. And yes, I know, crazy that I'm in a dorm in the fall of 2020, but I don't want to talk about it anymore, so we're gonna just move on. Any more updates? Nah, I don't really do anything anymore. I miss my GameCube. When I got here, I started ruminating on my last year of school. I'm currently a sophomore, so I was thinking about my freshman year of college. It occurred to me that last year something truly awful happened to me, and I couldn't really quite put my thumb on it last year. And then when I got here, I realized gaming stopped being fun last year. I know, awful, right? I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy. Gaming has been a hallmark of my life ever since I got my Nintendo Wii back when I was 8. And for about 10 years, it was one of my favorite things to do in order to pass the time, or relax, or have fun with friends, or experience a story. That's what was so great about gaming for me. The multitude of areas you could use it for. Bad day at school, I could come home and hit a walk-off home run in the show. Catching feelings, but then you find out the girl has a boyfriend? Here, go catch a Pokemon. Parents divorced, leaving you in an overall anxious place, not knowing where you'll be living or what will be happening or if they even love you anymore? Here, have a Mario Kart. No matter the occasion, no matter what I was feeling, I could boot up whatever system I had, put on a game, and feel good again. A lot of people put on movies and TV when they need something, which is an impulse I completely get and I'm not completely foreign to. I put on The Office when I need a good laugh. But gaming was something I turned to because it had a sense of achievement. Like you were actually doing something, and I felt like because of that, I could work out whatever I needed to, or relax, or smile, or whatever, and I had a hand myself in doing so. But all of a sudden, late last year, coinciding with me entering my freshman year of college, gaming just didn't feel the same anymore. I didn't feel the same joy, the same sense of relaxation or achievement that I felt in the past. I'd boot up my PS4, launch a game, and almost as soon as the game started, I was done playing it. I no longer had the desire to basically do anything in the realm of gaming, and it boggled my mind. Now, I never got tested for gaming deficiency because that's a thing that I just made up. But I do have a couple theories as to why I didn't have as much fun gaming last year as I usually did. As with all aspects of life, stress played a huge factor. Whether it be from the effects of moving away from home, entering a new school, meeting new people, or the amount of schoolwork I suffered through last year, stress really kept me from wanting to pick up a controller. As even though gaming was a way I used to relieve stress, I had all these other things in my mind that I felt like I should be doing instead or I would fall behind. Time was also a large factor, as I felt like I had less and less time to myself last year. And for me with gaming, I need a couple hours or so set aside so I can fully enjoy something. Yeah, some games are built to be enjoyed in a couple minutes or whatever, but even stuff like that, I just felt like I had no time to get into and actually enjoy. When I game, I want to get my feet more than wet. I want to submerge to the bottom and just sit there for hours and hours, and I've trained myself to hold my breath because I'm really cool and all the girls want me and I'm just so happy. I think the biggest thing that kept me from gaming and fully enjoying it, however, was the pressure to enjoy it. Now that sounds a little weird, right? Like normally you just enjoy something, you don't even have to think about it. But last year for me, whenever I gamed, I kept forcing myself to try to enjoy it, and I just couldn't do it. I kept stressing about the backlog of games I had that I wanted to get through. I didn't give myself a break. I didn't accept that gaming wasn't clicking. I kept telling myself it should, and I kept getting mad that it wasn't, and it severely lessened my enjoyment for video games that didn't subside for a very long time. So I just stepped away from gaming and let myself take a breather for a couple months. This isn't to say I didn't have any fun gaming. I definitely enjoyed my games of MLB The Show and matches of Star Wars Battlefront 2 for sure, mainly because those were absolutely mindless for me. But then in March, as you all know, COVID finally hit and I had to move out of my university. Everybody had to move home. Everybody had to start working at home, all that kind of stuff. And when I finally moved everything back home and I hooked up my PlayStation 4 to the TV and I pressed the on button and I put in God of War, something clicked again. I was actually having fun gaming again. Maybe it was the game. God of War is an awesome game that if you haven't played, you definitely should. What's funny to me about it is that Kratos has this axe that you can throw and call back to you, so they basically made a Thor game 2 years before the actual Thor game came out, and it's way, way better. Maybe it was the amount of time I had. Once everything was shut down and I did my classes at home without having any extracurricular activities like work or clubs to do, I could actually sink down into a video game again. Maybe I'd just given myself enough time off to really miss gaming and make it easier to appreciate once I came back. Or maybe none of these reasons are true, and I'm just a 19th century charlatan trying to sell you magic beans that you can grow for food and also children. I don't know. I kind of wish it was that last thing, honestly. Whatever it was, something just clicked, and honestly, I'm so glad it did. The world has been such an utterly fucked place for months, and the only thing that's really given me any solace and kept me distracted has been gaming. When I watch TV, I always end up looking at my phone and seeing what shit is happening in the world. When I watch movies, it's the same thing. When I watch my brother wipe out in the driveway on our doorbell monitor, well, I laugh for days because it's the funniest fucking shit I've ever seen. But then I look at my phone and I see that they're canceling Power Rangers and I lose my shit. But when I game, because I'm the one in control moving things along and nothing happens without my input, I can quickly forget the world for an hour or two and just do something other than cry in my pancakes. I also just have a bunch of random games I bought when they were on sale that I forgot about, and when I remembered, I decided to finally give them a try. The one standing out for me the most being Dying Light. Holy shit, if you have not played that game, go fucking play it. It's like this first-person parkour game where you slash zombies, and the gameplay is super frenetic and fun, and the story is awesome. I think you can get the base game and the DLC right now for a ridiculously cheap price. This sounds like an ad, but holy shit, dude, go play it. I actually want to use this time and kind of talk about the games I've been playing the last couple months, if you'll let me. First of which is probably going to give me a lot of hate just looking at the dislikes on the video I made about it. The first game I want to talk about being The Last of Us Part 2. I really enjoyed this game for about half of it. The gameplay is fantastic. The audio and visuals are great and all that, but man, you hit the halfway point of the game and everything changes, and I hated it so much. It comes to this natural end, and then boom, you're stuck playing another 12 hours to finish the story. The second half does get better as it goes on, but it's not enough to make up for that immediate impact the halfway point of the game provides, and halfway disappointment that it provides as well. It's still worth playing if you have a PS4, but man. Also during this period, after almost 2 years, I finally finished Red Dead Redemption 2, and I thought it was immaculate. I just never need to play it again. Red Dead 2 has a fantastic, deep story, but the game is easily the longest game I've ever played, and most of the missions are boring as fuck. Nikki Jakey has a really good video from 2 years ago about it, which I definitely recommend and you should definitely check out, and this is definitely not a game I regret playing. I'm just happy with the experience I had with it, and I'm content with leaving it at that. Doom 2016, on the other hand, was the absolute perfect length, the right amount of not giving a fuck that I needed after finishing the last 20 hours or so of Red Dead 2. I cannot stress enough the level of freedom I felt in this game and the relief I had when it ended in 12 hours or so. Not because it was bad, but because it didn't overstay its welcome whatsoever. On the shorter side, I played Journey in about a night, and that was magnificent. I've always wanted to play it, and around April, PlayStation put it out for free, and I decided to download it, and I didn't stop playing until the credits rolled. One of the more oddly emotional games I've ever played. I definitely recommend to anyone who wants a quick experience that will make them cry. For nostalgia that I simply should not have because I never played the original, I bought the Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy for my Switch. I didn't realize I could have so much fun while also being so angry at the same time. Every level of Crash is the absolute hardest level of any video game I've ever played, while also being the most rewarding and stimulating. I'm not joking, I was stuck on the Road to Nowhere level for a whole goddamn month before I could beat it, but when I did, I felt like jumping up and down in joy. I just recently beat the first game entirely and moved on to the second. I'll probably be playing it for a long time after this video, and I'm okay with that. Just as long as Crash doesn't hit the fucking bees next time. I also bought a GameCube over the summer as well as a couple games for it, and I gotta say, collecting for this thing has become my new favorite thing to do. I love going on eBay, bidding for games, or looking on retro video game sites for good deals. The GameCube is my favorite system ever, even though I never actually had one until now, as I always just played it at my friend's house when I was growing up. So having one in my hands when I'm at home is a little surreal, but so worth it. I almost started crying when I got mine in the mail. That's how sentimental it made me feel. So far, I only have about 7 games for my cube, but I'm looking to add a lot more, which will hopefully mean that I'll be jumping up and down in joy while simultaneously crying a lot more in the future. I guess what I'm trying to say here is if there's something you love that you enjoy that just doesn't feel the same anymore, just give yourself a breather and then spend lots and lots of money that you definitely don't have and fall into even more debt that you're already in. If there's a hobby or an activity or a relationship that isn't giving you the same feeling of joy or amazement or wonder that originally did, take a break. Take a second, recollect yourself, do something else, try something new, and then when you come back to it, you're going to enjoy it that much more because you spent so much time away from it, and you're going to be happy that you're able to appreciate it again. Take a breather. You deserve it, man.